Okay, the first time we're doing this, like this. This is what I do. I normally do this on face once in a while. But since my job is physical, and I have athletic stuff, and then I'm a regular mom and all that good stuff, this is what I do after the kids already go to school, before I go to work, before I do anything else, after I've washed the dishes and whatnot. I used to stretch for 45 minutes to an hour and a half a day because I was still in physical therapy. I had fractures in my spine, I had spinal surgery and everything. That was 25 years ago, or more actually. So I do ankle rotations by Peter Egoscue, Egoscue, in his book Pain Free, and that's pain and then hyphen free. If you go online, you get it on Amazon in paperback. It's a great book. You don't have to do all of it, but the ankle rotations is my lifeblood. I do it before I even get out of bed, and I've been doing that regularly for, I've been really good over the last 2 years, but since 2011, so that's like 7 years of that, almost 7 years, yeah, because I started, yeah, it's about right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do an active isolated stretch, which Aaron Mathis, I trained under the Whartons, Phil and Jim Wharton. Aaron Mathis designed active isolated stretching. So I'm going to take my rope, I'm going to relax my foot, and this is to get your calves, your gastroc, and your soleus, mostly your gastroc, and you're going to, I dorsiflex my foot, and then I pull 1001, 1002. I relax, move it this way. You see it from an angle. Dorsiflex my foot, pull 1001, 1002. I do a little bit more on one side than I do on the other because it's where I've had the most trauma, but I try to balance everything. 1001, 1002. So you get an idea that this is only going to be about 15 minutes today. I usually do 20 minutes every day now, but at least I'm doing it. And I was talking to my old ultra running coach, Dante Cholfi, and he wondered why. I'm going to be 56. He just turned 62. He wondered how I was able to all of a sudden start getting faster again for the first time in 25 years. And I said to him, well, I did a lot of, I stopped racing for almost 10 years. Run races. I used to do ultras and marathons. And I started fighting because of my husband's encouraged, so I started doing MMA, ground fighting, and I competed. I've competed, and I've boxed, and I've done Muay Thai. Muay Thai is not my forte. I barely know anything about it. I mean, I know it, but I don't know it. Boxing's more my forte, and regular, just MMA. I was trained in Burmese style. So, the other thing I do, and this is something that Phil Dunlap always has done, is the hip twist. And, it could be Burmese, I don't know what it is, but I just know that it feels right. And I keep my head up off the ground. I don't lay it on the ground, and I try to tuck my chin in while I'm doing this, because the idea in a self-defense mode is if you get knocked to the ground in a mugging or a fight or whatever, if your head's on the ground, you'll have a higher rate of concussive if your head is still on the ground and they're punching you in the face or elbowing you in the head or kicking you, stomping on your head. If you can keep your head up off the ground, you'll be so much better off. So the longest I've ever kept my head up off the ground is, I don't know. I've done a class of it. And then the other thing I do is this. This is, again, active isolated stretching. For my hamstrings, so I'm going to try to show different angles just so, you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to wrap the rope around this way. I'm going to get different sections of the hamstring. And now I keep my head on the ground. So I'm going to go use my quadricep. I'm going to tighten my quadricep, top of your leg, bring it up, then pull. 1001, 1002. Switch the rope around, so now I get a lateral portion of the hamstring. We're stretching that. Tighten. Lift up with my quadricep. I'm actually lifting my leg with my leg. And then pull the rope. 1001, 1002. As you can see, if you have a back problem and it's not resolved, first of all, consult your physician or your physical therapist or both, especially if you're still in physical therapy. You should always do that before you do any new exercise or stretching. The other thing is, you may have to bend your other leg to do this, but just make sure your butt doesn't come off the floor. That's the other thing. Tighten quadricep, lift up, pull, 1001, 1002. Just switch it around, bring it down. And you should always relax your muscles just for a couple seconds before you do it again. You don't go boom. You don't. Speed is not the issue here. You don't want to do speed. You want to be focused. Tighten quad, lift up the leg. So you're not using the rope to lift the leg. You're using the rope at the end, 1001, 1002, to get more of a range of motion. And I'll do the other side. Lift up, 1001, 1002. So I told my coach, Dante Cholfi, who said he wasn't stretching recently, and he was wondering why he was feeling like crud. I said to him, I can't do anything without stretching. We were talking for 2 hours on Friday night. Tighten, pull, 1001, 1002. This one feels a little bit lazy in here. That's how I'm feeling. Tighten quad, lift up, pull, 1001, 1002. You know, if you don't have a rope like this, you can get a band. You know, I've used hand towels or big, you know, long pieces of towel that I have from my business that's, you know, like old towel, because you can't keep using the towels after a while. They wear out. So you strip them like, you know, like a rag. You make a rag and you just do it like that. That's what I do when I didn't have a rope. I'm lifting up, pull, 1001, 1002. Okay? I think I'm done with the rope now. So I always mix and match everything. Now I'm going to do a piriformis stretch. So I'm going to take my ankle, I'm going to put it this way, it looks like this way. This way, it looks like this way. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to lift with the opposing leg, grab with both hands under, not on top, under. Grab the thigh, 1001, 1002. Then I'm going to push out, 1001, 1002. Then I'm going to switch. Tucking my chin in, so I don't have my head back like this. Tuck my chin in. Can't push it. It's tight. Again, 1001, 1002. And then pushing out this way with this hand. 1001, 1002. Switching. I'll just get like, oh God, that feels good. 1001, 1002, and then 1001, 1002. I'm not trying to do a lot. I'm just trying to get a little bit. Okay. 1001, 1002. 1001, 1002. It feels pretty good. So I try to treat the sides equally, although this side is the one that's, this is the hip graft side, and this is all the other damaged side. And this is for my lower back. My doctors, the two doctors I have checked me, my chiropractor and my internist, they always wonder what I'm doing. I always walk into my internist, I walk in when I go to get a physical. I walk in with new greens that I start taking and ideas. And he takes them, give him a sample packet. That's what I do. I drink a lot of barley grass, and I can't get it fresh really all the time. I don't have the big bucks. I get it dehydrated. I've been drinking it for, oh gosh, over 16 years, maybe 18 years. But the last 16, my cholesterol dropped from 290 down to, it stays between 129 and 150 something. Pretty good. So in my family, the average cholesterol issue, especially on my paternal side, is anywhere from 350 to 450 on an average. Even the people that don't smoke are like that. So it's a natural high. See, here I was running 100 and something miles a week, and I had a 290 cholesterol in 2002. Go figure, right? But then I upped my grass, and I increased my greens even more, and that knocked it down. My husband's cholesterol went up, and he started drinking the grass in 2006, and his cholesterol went down by, I think it was 70 points in 6 weeks. That's what it was. And he, you know, because he said to our internist, what do I do to avoid taking cholesterol medication? He said, watch what your wife is doing. Now, this is more of a static stretch, so I'm holding it longer, like 10 seconds. So I do different things. I've done tons of yoga. I've done Tai Chi. I've done Qigong. And I went and took a 2-day course with the Wharton team in the city. And I've done a lot of different things. And then I've studied a lot of things on my own. I've never met Peter Goskew, but I think his ideas are brilliant. But you got to mix and match. You got to find out what works for you. So I do all different things. And then the other test I do, which this is great for plantar fasciitis, I think. Everybody that comes into my office, or now I'm doing home calls, is I try to sit back with my butt on my heels. And right now I'm feeling tight here, but it's not as bad as it's been. It's getting better. I sprained my ankle, I think, let me see, we're in May. I think it was like February. So I'm just going to just grab back here a little bit. Yeah, I can feel it's a little nasty. But as I warm up, I notice, yeah, that's a little bit better. But it's still kind of tender. As I warm up, I notice that I'm better off with these stretches. I'm not doing a lot. Like I said, the first thing I do before I get out of bed every single morning is 120 ankle rotations by Peter Goskew. That's the pain-free book. I don't know when he wrote it now. It's years. It's got to be, I don't know, 12 years ago, maybe 15. I have no clue. It's probably inexpensive on Amazon. You probably can get it for 15 bucks or maybe less. Who knows? And if you're Prime, maybe you get a thing, you know, get a discount. So this is the other one that hopefully you'll get the idea. Now this has been shown so many different ways. I don't even know who invented this, but it's an awesome idea. Okay, so in the beginning, if you can, I have the wall, my toes are flexed. We call this my friend Peter Dell'Orto, who I've trained a lot with in ground fighting, and then him and I kick each other to practice our kicks. Peter calls this the couch stretch. Him and Charlie Remigio. Peter's training out in training people out in Florida Park now, New Jersey, and Charlie Remigio is at CR Fitness. He owns that in Wyckoff, New Jersey. They're both brilliant guys. They're awesome trainers, and they're very low key, and they're very methodical. And I send them my spine patients. That's, you know, the spine patients I get from doctors, and I get them working on them. I send them to, you know, if they're in those vicinities, I just say, hey, listen, why don't you have somebody guide you? You're done with physical therapy. These are personal trainers. They're top notch, you know, that kind of thing. So I'll hold this for 10, 20 seconds. Then I put my foot in a plantar flex. So I'll flatten the toes like this. I can't get my knee. I try to get my knee as close as this knee, as close as I can to the wall, but I don't force it. There's no pain. And I'm a little tight here. I'm about that far away, so I'm about my butt is about, well, actually, no, it's almost on. It's about an inch away from, the heel of my foot is about an inch away from my butt, actually a little bit less now, it feels like a half an inch. And I'm almost completely, as you can see, I'm almost completely straight. This is at about 90 degrees, this is about 90 degrees. Okay, now I'm going to switch. Now my foot always gets a little stiff on this side after it, so I just do this with my toes, curl them under like that a little. And I'm going to do the other side. Okay, and again, I go like this. All right, and this side's easier. My butt, my heel is on my butt already, you know, and my feet are in dorsiflexion. My toes are in dorsiflexion. Okay, just gonna hold this. Feels pretty nice. You're gonna feel it all through here. This is gonna get your hip flexors. There's all different ways of getting your hip flexors, but this is the best way. Peter, myself, and Charlie have found that this is the best way. And the clients of mine that come see me and do this, they have a lot less back issue. So less that they don't have to hardly see me at all once I've worked on them and they've started doing this stuff. You know, my goal is get you in, get you out. Get you in, get you out of my office. Now, I'll come into your home or your office and I just am there and I fix you as fast as I can. And if you need me in 2 months or you need me in a week, okay, it depends. I want to leave it up to the client. I don't want to leave it up to me necessarily. I come in, I do my job, I teach you a couple things. If you need me to talk to your doctor, I do that. Now I'm in plantar flexion here. This feels really nice. And now I'm going to just check my sitting back on my heels, and boy, I'm like 80% less pain. It's so nice, because the pain was all in my leg. It's so nice. And yeah, I train through things. I've trained through all sorts of fractures, because when you're me and you're competing, whether it's marathoning, ultra running, or fighting, you know, I've had a orbital blowout, and I got checked by the eye doctors, and he said, oh, just don't get punched in the face for 4 weeks, and you can't blow your nose for like 4 weeks. So, because you're kind of, it's like the eyeball rolls up and down. It's kind of weird. So you avoid sneezing, blowing your nose, and getting punched in the face for 4 weeks. And what I did was, when I wrestled with the guys, I would tell them, it's this eye, and I would cover it, and I'd let them do all sorts of submission stuff on me for ground fighting. As long as I realized they were not a wild wrestler, It worked technique. And then 2 weeks, which most people wouldn't do, but 2 weeks into it, then I would start going live. But once I got into a bad predicament where I saw knees and elbows around me, I would just do this and try to move my body. This is what you do when you're desperate for training. But you can't get punched in the face after that for a while. And a lot of people think you need surgery. This feels so good. A lot of people think you need surgery. I'll show you what it looks like here. After you have an orbital blowout. But that actually is, as long as your retina was strong enough and pulled back the eye, you don't need that. You don't need. A lot of people think you do. Listen, we're not all going to look like Christy Brinkley, all right? So if you want to look like Christy Brinkley and have the eyes perfect set back and have metal put in there, fine. But that's your pierogi, and that's up to you and your doctor. So I'm only doing the left twice, not the right. And then I'm just going to do this real gentle. Again, there should never be any pain, and you should, I'm going to remind you again, kindly consult your physician and or your physical therapist if you're under their care, before you do anything. Physical changes. I always tell people the 10% rule on diet and exercise after you've been approved. Don't increase or decrease anything by more than 7 to 10% a week. Food, drink, or exercise. It's a good rule of thumb. That includes lifting weights. Okay, just a little bit of that. Watch out. The other thing is, I will use the wall. And I'm trying to get my vastus lateralis here by doing it this way. I'm using the opposite hand of the leg I'm trying to stretch. And I'm just doing it and again, this is a static stretch. It's the old-fashioned static stretch. People are like, how do you stretch your hamstrings? There's all different ways of doing it. But don't ever put your foot up on something and do that. Not good for your lower back. You could do it like this, or like what I showed with the rope. Keep your back straight and you bend from the waist. And what I do to help people keep self-control, you're not going to get a big stretch, but you're going to get a stretch. You do this. Some people can go even further. I've always been tightening my hamstrings since probably I was born, who knows, like this. And then I switch, go to the other side, and hold it 1001, 1002. You could do 10 of them. At least you won't hurt you. That's the goal. And then I do my little wall thing here. This is a revised wall stretch where you put your shoulder in. I think they started doing it this way about 25 years ago. So right now I'm getting my gastroc. Okay? And again, no pain. Stretch, yes. Pain, no. Then I'm going to squat down into this leg. And now I'm going to get the soleus, which is a deeper muscle. It's deep to the gastroc. And I only hold that one for 5 seconds because you just don't want to do too much. You want to do just enough. Like I'm already feeling like I'm sweating. And we don't have it warm in here because I got 2 bunnies and a piggy. And they, especially the bunnies. Bunnies can't be the type of bunnies we have. They can't be over like 80 degrees or whatever. So we have it to 73 degrees or 72, I think. And it's really cool out, so it's probably even less than that. So basically, that's what I do every morning before I go to work. If I miss a day, it's rare. So anyway, have a great day, stay safe, and be well. Now, how do you shut this thing off, right? See?